Welcome, everybody. It is Beyond the Barricade, and I am your host, Papa Dank, aka your 23-6 YouTube heavyweight champion of the world. So I had a busy weekend, man. I was up at SWA up here in Long Island, Suffolk Wrestling Alliance, and what a show that was, man. Let me tell you. The vlog is coming out later on Friday, exclusively on the Papa Dank YouTube channel. But anyway, without further ado, let me bring to you my very special guest of the night. The one, the only, Jason Blade. What's up, bud?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Dude, you already got people saying hello to you. Look at that, Juliana.
Yeah, that's my girl right there.
Michael Wade. Everybody's saying hi. All right, let's start off with the most easiest question of them all. How did you fall in love with professional wrestling?
Me and my cousin, we were watching when I was a young kid back in the 2000s when Stone Cold, The Rock, and all of them were going. We used to wrestle each other here and there, like just play wrestling and everything. And then I think during COVID, I really sat down and watched everything on the WWE Network or Peacock, whatever they were on at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to a lot of shows. I used to cut referee for AEW Paul Turner's hair, which is funny because the gimmick of being the brutal barber isn't a gimmick, it's a lifestyle.
That's awesome.
I've been cutting hair for 10 years, and then I think it was October 6th, 2021, my first live event after COVID. And I'm watching this 8-man casino ladder match, and I'm just like, I can do this. And I'm sitting there third row. I'm like, I can definitely do this. And then I realized after I started training, I'm like, this really hurts. I was like, this is a lot more to it. And, just fell in love with it ever since I stepped foot in the ring. And I was like, I got to go for it.
Awesome. All right. Now, where did you go train and who were your trainers and what were your thoughts during that initial training?
I originally started training with Jermaine Jubilee in his backyard in York, Pennsylvania, where we had all the elements against us. Like, I remember I started training, I want to say the end of October of 2021, and it was cold out. I remember my first day of training, I wasn't used to all the cardio. Within 45 minutes was puking up my guts. And then went back the very next day. And then I got hurt during training in December. It was the week of Christmas. And I jammed my shoulder up pretty bad practicing the flapjack bump. And I'm 6'3". Guy I'm training with, he's 6'3", somewhere around there. So I'm 12 feet on the air. I'm like 250 pounds, and my body said, nope, turned me sideways, and I landed right on my shoulder and jammed up my shoulder, which really sucked because as a barber, Christmas is the busiest week of the year for us.
Yeah, definitely.
So I went straight to my chiropractor the next day. I was like, fix me up. I got to be able to cut hair this week. And I parted ways with him because of all the elements and everything. I was like, I can't do this to myself anymore. It's too much. So, and I started doing shows with the Delta Wrestling Alliance out in Airville and Quarryville. And that was just to get my reps in, start learning from other people who have been around a little longer. And then I believe last year in September, Jesus Rodriguez, many fans would know him better as Ricardo Rodriguez, the former ring announcer for Alberto Del Rio. Yes. He opened up Three Legacies Wrestling Academy out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I go there from time to time when I can. Right now I've been super busy and I live an hour away from there. So between working 2 jobs, cutting hair full time, and then booking shows, I get out there when I can.
Right. Okay. All right. What was the best advice they gave you at Ricardo School?
At Ricardo's, lose the ego.
Really?
Lose the ego. As a lot of professionals have, as a lot of professional wrestlers have, you get this alpha male mentality. So you got to really humble yourself and understand it's like, I'm going to be in the ring with people that are better than me. I'm going to be in the ring with people worse than me.
Right.
So you got to kind of keep yourself at a good
Balance.
standstill and stay balanced and keep yourself at a good, clear mindset.
That is great advice. Michael says 3 Legacies Wrestling. Woohoo. Serena says Christmas and the holidays are the busiest for barbers. Yeah, it is. I mean, I get my cut, definitely. That Thanksgiving Eve is a big night to go out, so you want to look your best. You know, back to school.
Yeah, back to school times, picture days.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's Day is a big one. I get a lot of last minute Valentine's Day, guys.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You know, we do things at the last minute.
Hey, that's okay. Every man's failure at being more on time with things makes my pocket a lot fuller.
There you go. All right, let's talk about your first professional wrestling match in a crowd. Who was your opponent, and what were your thoughts during that first match?
First match, my first in ring in front of a crowd was actually in a Rumble match.
Ooh, okay.
And it was a very small crowd. It was kind of like a backyard company coming up to doing like venues and everything.
Mm-hmm.
My first 2 matches were actually Rumble matches. I believe my first one-on-one match. No, my first match was a tag match, and that was a completely different atmosphere. It was with Delta Wrestling Alliance. They had me teamed up with Prince Noah, and let's see who are their names. I have it in a notebook here somewhere.
Do you write down all your matches?
I used to, and then I started forgetting my notebook.
Oh, no.
Lot of shows, and I was like, dang it.
Then you're like, oh, man, I got to buy a new one, start all over.
Yeah. The 2 guys that we faced, so they've been around for a while. They gave me a lot of good lessons. I was a heel, so I got to do a lot of dirty stuff during the match, get a lot of ups on them. And we lost, but I didn't take the pinfall, so that was the best part. I was like still undefeated.
Right. All right. Tell me about an opponent you want to wrestle that you haven't wrestled yet, and why? Why do you want to wrestle with that person?
See, I would say CM Punk, but I don't think he's going to be wrestling anywhere anytime soon.
I think he's going to be wrestling. Especially after some comments made today from Nick Khan over in WWE.
Yeah. Let's see.
It could be some. I prefer someone like, we could do a dream one, and then let's do someone in the indie scene.
On the indie scene, I would love to get in the ring with Matt Cardona.
Okay.
He's the indie god.
He's the indie god, that's right.
Indie god.
He comes out here to New York a lot because he's going to be up in Queens over here this Friday night at House of Glory.
I would love to lock up with Ricardo, honestly.
Okay.
Especially now that he has 3 legacies, I feel like we can build a story there if that's a route that he would want to go to in the future. Okay. I would really like to face J.S. Hawthorne again, though. I faced him once. I also faced Tarzan Duran once, and he hit me with a chair after the match. So definitely want to
get him back.
Definitely want to get him back. There's a lot of indie guys that I would love to get in the ring with. It's hard to say who's indie and who's not anymore because AEW has that big forbidden door.
Yeah.
And those are more dream matches at this point.
Okay. Any dream matches then? Let's talk about dream matches. But there's a suggestion over here: Jason Blade versus Bro Keller. Take my money.
Uh, that that's a match that I would love to have on the indie scene too. He has that 3 Legacies World Heavyweight Championship, so I would love to lock up with him.
Sweet.
Dream matches. Let's see. Most of my childhood heroes are not wrestling anymore. I would say Chris Jericho, but I don't think he has enough years left for it. I think he's on his way out in the next couple years. A big dream match. A lot of people probably wouldn't say it, but I would love just to get in the ring with the Undertaker.
That'd be good. That would be huge.
I'll take a couple choke slams. I don't care. It don't even have to be a match.
That's
like a dream segment right there.
That's true. Undertaker, legendary. All right, let's talk about the rest of the year. What kind of goals have you set yourself for the rest of the year?
I would love to win at least one title this year. Last year, I won 2 championship reigns with Delta as their X Factor champion. Would love to win a couple championships. I'd like to make my way up the card a little bit more on shows. That's like one of my main things. I've been lower card, more at the beginning of the show, setting the tone for the show. I'd like to start making my way towards that main event scene.
Okay. All right. Traveling. Where would you like to go wrestle that you haven't wrestled? What state?
I'd love to get out to Jersey because Jersey's got some good spots. I'd like to get up to New York.
What federations in Jersey, New York stand out for you right now?
New York is more so like NYWC, I believe it is.
NYWC. I was just at that building Saturday because they had SWA there.
Yeah. I'd like, especially since WrestleMania is coming to Philadelphia next year, it's only about a 2.5 hour drive from me. I'd like to get on some shows that week if it's possible, and I can make the right connections to get on some of the shows.
Okay.
Definitely would like to get down to Maryland too.
Okay. What about Jersey? Anything in Jersey pops up for you?
I got reached out to by, I don't want to say they're a backyard company, but they started out as a backyard company making their way up. LTW. I met a couple of those guys at Delta, and they make their way down there. I'd also like to get on Grimm's Toy Show.
I know a couple of people at LTW. Grimm is like he's been around for a while.
Yeah, I'd like to get out to SWF too.
Okay.
I believe Rob Fury still owns and runs that.
Okay. All right. What about overseas? Any thoughts about maybe going overseas one day? And if you would like to go overseas, where would you like to go? Like, what country would you like to go to first if you had a choice?
If I had a choice, I'd go to Japan.
Okay.
Go to Japan first because I feel like if you can go to Japan and last 15 minutes with some of those guys, you can probably make a big name for yourself over there. Because you got like Will Ospreay, all the guys from the Bullet Club that were over there. AJ Styles went over there when he was done with TNA and made an even bigger name for himself.
Yeah, the one that stands out for me the most that I know from being out here in New York is Masha Slamovich.
Mm-hmm.
Going out there, making herself a star out there, and then coming back here and translating that success out here. So yeah, that's a good choice. What about Europe? Germany's good. country to go to.
Yeah. Anywhere in the UK. I'm blanking on a lot of names of some companies, but UK definitely, because that's where Gunther, formerly known as Walter, is from.
Yes.
And same with Will Ospreay. I would definitely like to get out there eventually and see if I can hang with those guys in the ring.
Okay. Type of match you want to be in that you haven't been into yet.
Barbershop brawl.
That would be a good one for you.
It works with.
I think this needs to happen somewhere. Like it's not like it needs to happen.
I think it might. I think I have a chance at getting it towards the end of this year.
Whoever's booking that show, they need to make it happen.
I feel like that's a main event level match too. Like I don't think anything can follow up after that, especially when there's no rules. Honestly, the only way to win would probably, everyone knows, like the hair versus hair match.
Right.
Beard versus beard.
Okay. That's never been done. I know.
Lots of people can pull off the bald head look and all that, but you can't hide an ugly face unless you have a beard. Beards are men's makeup. So I definitely would say it's like that has to be the stipulation.
That's funny. I had a conversation with a friend of mine who has a long beard, longer than yours, like down to here, and he said the same thing. You can't hide the ugly face with the beard.
I'm working on it right now.
I said, you're not ugly, man. Stop that. Steve Masters, that's a really good match with Jason. Would like to see that. Cool. Me too. All right. Let's go into the events you got coming up. We got this event coming up for you on September 30th. New Revolution 7 for Superior Star Wrestling. Do you know who you're wrestling at this match?
I do not yet. I heard that there's a tag team tournament going on. There's been rumors that I might be entered in that.
Okay.
I currently have a feud going on with Corporal Saft with that company. I'd like to see where that ends up leading us in the next couple months. But yeah, a lot of times these guys are old school bookers. They've had problems with talent in the past where they hear about something and then they want to change it last minute. So a lot of the card is kept until the day of, which I voiced my opinion and told him that I would like to know ahead of time because I like shooting promos. I like talking.
I'm glad you said that. Go on. I'm going to let you finish.
And I feel like for any type of show to really promote it and put asses in seats, for a better lack of terms, you have to promote it with everyone saying their piece, building the story big time. That
I agree, and I knocked my camera off when I hit the desk. And there goes my green screen.
Yeah, like you got to make people want to buy that ticket, like not just advertise it. You know, like if I advertise, say I ran a company, and the main event match is a barbershop brawl.
Right.
No story, no hype, no nothing. Just say barbershop brawl. Here we go.
There's no build.
You're probably not. You're gonna buy a ticket to see the show because you're like, oh, this is gonna be crazy. But then you're gonna be like, I'm not invested in it though.
There's no build up to it.
I don't know who these characters are. I don't know who these guys are. I just know they're gonna beat the hell out of each other. And someone's gonna go home with no beard.
Before we go into your next match, how do you feel about wrestlers who aren't doing that, promoting their shows that they're going to be at? And before you answer that, let's just make sure that if you want to get your tickets for this event, call 717-443-2593 to get your tickets for this event. Tickets start for $18. That's cheap as fuck. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Get your tickets if you're in the area. But anyway, go
ahead. I feel like they're not earning their spot fully. Like, you want to be in a spot on a show. Right. You don't always want to be at the very beginning. You want to work your way to the main event. If you're not building yourself as a character, there's nothing to you, really. There's no need for me to want to watch you. Like, one of the people that I like watching, and I use him a lot as a reference to be a little bit more heelish when I'm a heel in certain companies, Kevin Owens. Like, all the recent stuff that he's done, like where it's like, I don't have an anger problem, I have an idiot problem. Like,
right.
You gotta like load that intensity up. You gotta throw. You gotta change the levels of your voice. That way, people can understand who you are as a character. Mm-hmm. Like Three Legacies Wrestling back on August 19th had the Red Rose Rumble at Clipper Magazine Stadium in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I cut a promo for that where I was just sitting outside, and I wasn't at the July show. On June 16th, we had the Chase, which started the tournament for the World Heavyweight Championship, main event of the Red Rose Rumble. Mm-hmm. I took that chair shot from Tarzan Duran at the end of the match. I was like, how can I play this without being at the last show? So I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, all right. It's like, I've been contemplating a lot of things. Sometimes the things you love don't always love you back. So I chose to make it, I need to win the Red Rose Rumble, or I need to walk away for a while. I need to figure out who I am again. Because all that's replaying in my head is that chair shot and how easily I was taken out by a chair shot after a match. Mm-hmm. So I kind of gave myself a little stipulation. I got some personal things going on in my life where traveling is a lot on top of it. So it's one thing that's like, I need to personally get my personal things taken care of, so that way I can invest more into what this dream is that I'm chasing. Okay. So, like, just giving that depth, I had a lot of fans come up to me at that show during intermission and all that, saying, it's like, so are you going to be at the next show? I better see you there. It's like, well, it's like, I might have to walk away for a while. I didn't win.
Right.
It's like, I got some stuff I got to figure out and take care of, which whenever I return, they're going to be like hype because I'm a baby face in that company. So it's like when they hear that music hit, and they're going to be like, he figured his shit out. It's like, now he's back. Like, now let's see what he's going to do going forward. Okay. So I believe promos, and it's perfect advertising for a show, and it makes people want to come see that.
Absolutely. 100% agree. Pull up the next flyer. Here we got the Day of Destiny, Saturday, October 14th. At the Airville Volunteer Fire Company. Front row is only $15. General admission $10. You can't beat those prices. Definitely not in New York. Nowhere near that. I think front row is $30, $35 up here.
And not to mention, we got the WWE legend Gene Snitsky coming to that show. Oh, bless you.
Thank you. Gene Snitsky. I've been battling allergies for like weeks, bro. It's crazy.
I feel that it's that time of year. Season's changing.
It's so bad. All right. Yeah, Snitsky will be at this event. Who is he wrestling? Do you know?
I have no idea, but I did pitch an idea that I'd wrestle him.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'll wrestle Snitsky. He's a big dude. I've met him at a couple Three Legacy shows, and I have a picture that I don't think I posted yet. When I met him to get a photo with him, I was just standing like, oh yeah, here, let's get a photo. He grabbed me and just yanked me in. I was like, holy crap. Like, you're a strong dude.
I've seen him at a convention out here in New York too. He's pretty tall.
Very nice guy too. Very nice guy. But that's not his fault.
All right, make sure you go to Delta Wrestling Alliance to get your tickets. I assume it's DeltaWrestlingAlliance.com to get your tickets for this event or at the door on Saturday, October 14th.
Yeah, that's an early show too. The doors open at 3:00. We usually get out of there by like 8, 9 o'clock, which is nice because I can still go home and take a nice bath or a shower.
That's awesome. I don't get out of my shows till like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, dude. And this weekend, like, I'm traveling to Jersey. I'm going to Titan Championship Wrestling for their event. I'm the official podcast for Blaze of Glory. And I'm in Long Island, so it's a 2 to 3 hour drive for me there and back. So 3 hours there, 3 hours back.
Yeah, it is a long drive.
It's a long drive, yeah. Michael says, when I first went to 3 Legacies Wrestling shows back in May at Fiesta, Jason was the one of the first guys I talked to. He was cool AF. Look at that, man. You got some good press going on, brother.
Yeah. I appreciate it all.
Steve Master says, like to see Jason Snitsky have a match. Yeah, that would be awesome. It's always great when you're a wrestler. Not that I'm a wrestler, but I mean for you guys. And then you get to meet someone who is a legend in the business. You know what I'm saying? Like to work with them and stuff. I think you probably learn a lot more than you realize going through the match with them. You know, some people will get it. Some, you know, like you say, egos. There's a lot of people with egos that I've met.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people I've met that are awesome individuals as well. So it just depends on the person. But you could definitely learn from a legend. What else we got going on? All right. I think this is going to be the last question. If you had to choose one company that would be your best fit out of all the big companies, where would you go and why?
I mean, everyone's got that dream of WWE. I've had that dream, but I feel like with where I would want to go with my character, AEW would probably be the best fit. Just because I'd have more creative control with how I do things. But special effects and all that wise, I would probably still say WWE. Just because regardless of how you look at it, they are the top company for a reason. Yes. They've been around for 30 plus years. It's $1 billion company. Every event is sold out on a whim. The storytelling is fantastic at certain points, depending on what the story is. And like, one of my favorite things that they've done over the last couple of years, and rest in peace, Bray Wyatt, was all the stuff that Bray Wyatt was doing with the Firefly Hunt Funhouse, the Fiend, even the Uncle Howdy stuff.
That stuff was good, yeah.
Like, when I first saw it, I was like, wow, really the best thing that he did was return. And then I started, like, looking more into it. I was like, you know what? Like, looking back at it a lot, it's like they did really good storytelling with that. I wish we could have saw more with it. It's a shame that we won't ever be able to know.
Yes.
But I know all the rumors were that Bo Dallas was Uncle Howdy.
Right.
So I was like, here's how you pay homage to Bray a little bit. Have it be, have Uncle Howdy come back with Bo Dallas playing Uncle Howdy, and let Bo tell the rest of the story.
Yeah, I agree, man. That was such a tragic loss, man. It hit me really hard when I heard the news. I think everybody felt just shocked to begin with, to pass away at such a young age.
I felt the same way when I found out that Brody Lee passed away. Yes. I was crying when Brody passed away, and then the tribute show for Brody, I lost it completely.
What a tribute show that was!
Oh my God, probably the best tribute show in the history
I've ever seen.
Wrestling.
Right.
All the way down to Brody Jr. with his boots and the TNT title in the middle of the ring. That's where like it really got me, where it was like this family lost a lot. And then hearing everyone talk about how so highly of him backstage.
Right.
And it's the same with Bray. His
Same with
tribute
Bray.
show. His tribute show got me a good bit too.
It definitely did. They did a thing I saw on YouTube where they had the superstars just talk about what Bray meant to them.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it existed. I just kind of like was watching YouTube and I just bumped into it and I just was captivated by like all the comments that everybody was saying.
Yeah, I sat there and watched YouTube in the shower and it's like it popped up. I was like, shower time. It's like I'm gonna cry and no one's gonna know about it.
Truly such a loss to everybody. All right. Jason, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Let's tell everybody where they can follow you and where they can get any of your merch.
You can follow me at Jason Blade Pro on Instagram and Twitter, or X, whatever it's called now.
X. Yeah, right.
You can add me on Facebook at Jason Blade. You can buy all this sweet merch.
Nice.
At ProWrestlingTees.com.
I love it. I love the shirt, man.
Thank you. You can buy all shirts on ProWrestlingTees.com/JasonBladePro. That's another thing. For any show that I'm at, I hand make all my merch. I have a Cricut machine, so
oh wow,
I will sit here for 2 to 3 hours and put so much love and care into making these shirts for the fans.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
Where can everybody follow you?
Jason Blade Pro, at the Barber Joshua Blake on Instagram. You can book a haircut with me at joshuablake.booksy.com.
They're asking about the piano over
here. Yeah, I believe that's
about it. All right, now here's my signed Bray Wyatt Funko Pop that I was able to get from Dark Parlor.
Ooh, I like that.
Awesome figure. Awesome pop. I'm a big pop guy. So I just wanted to show it off and say, man, it's my reminder of Bray Wyatt and the fabulous, fabulous memories he all gave us.
Yeah, so I was actually thinking I'm going to get that logo of the moth and all that.
Yeah.
I got room on my stomach. I might just make that my stomach piece.
There's a couple of people that of the wrestlers that got him on there, like Strowman and stuff.
Yeah, Strowman, Killer Cross, Shotzi.
Right.
Karrion Kross in WWE. I always was a fan of him as Killer.
As Killer Cross, yeah.
Yeah, I believe those four did it. And one of the backstage guys.
Look at this comment for you. Jason Blade is the man, future champion wherever he goes, from Kenny.
Hell yeah.
She's happy my piano's back. All right. Make sure everybody follows Jason Blade. As for me, I got, if I can pull up the graphics. So there it is. Blaze of Glory from Titan Championship Wrestling, Goddesses of War, this Saturday, September 16th. Make sure you use that QR code to get your tickets for this event, as I am the official podcast for this event. Even though there's a lot of podcasters involved in it, I am the official one for Blaze of Glory. One of my favorite Bon Jovi songs, just so everybody knows, Blaze of Glory. Make sure you get that song. Make sure you come down to the event. Make sure you come say hello to me as well. I'm looking at the comments over there. After that, I will be supposed to be at Wrestling Is Now with the Maximo brothers. As long as I get time off from my job to head on over to Jersey to go hang out with them. But if I'm not able to make it, make sure you go to Wrestling Is Now to get your tickets for that event. Brain Buster is that event. And I will be next month at Victory Pro Wrestling on October 14th as they return to Bayshore for Hallowed Ground. As you can see, everybody's spooky in the background there, Jason. Look at that. Do you recognize anybody in the poster?
I believe Tatiana. Is that who that is?
Tatiana, that's Tatiana, yeah.
She's going to be at the Three Legacy show on September 16th, I believe.
She is
facing Zoe Cannon.
Oh, Zoe, I just had her on last week. Yes, we will have Tatiana returning to VPW to face off against Valentina Vasquez, the VPW Women's Champion. But Salem is lurking in the background as she is the #1 contender. You also have those rat bastards themselves, the VPW Tag Team champs defending their titles. And, they're just jerks, Jason. That's all I can say about them. Desmond Cole will be in the house, and I believe he is opening up the show because he has a lot to say as he lost the New York State Championship to Dante Drago. And then the artist Jake Lang will be there, as well as Eric James versus Kate Lothbrock. And the VPW champion himself and social media champion, the one, the only Jack Tomlinson, the leading man, returns back to VPW Saturday night, October 14th. Make sure you go to Victory Pro Wrestling to get your tickets for that event. And this Friday, I have my latest vlog interaction elimination coming out. And here's the after credit scene picture with Lizzie, as she's got something to say about another promotion coming up. But that was filmed for SWA, and I had a lot of fun with everybody there. And they even had a halal truck, Jason. Can you believe that? That was great, man. I was shocked.
They got everything at these wrestling shows.
They have everything. Coming up next to me is Rick Elsey. He is coming up next at 9 o'clock. Before I get to the comments real quick, before we sign off, I want to say next Tuesday night, the one, the only, my pal, Brittany Brooks is coming back, and she's got something to say, and she's going to reveal something that she is involved in, as well as I am also involved in. So next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, not tomorrow, next Tuesday, just so you guys know. Shoot, I don't even know what date it is. Today is Tuesday. What am I talking about?
Today is September 12th.
Today is Tuesday, but dude, it's been a long couple of days, man. Let me tell you, at work. What else I got going on, Jason? There's a lot going on, man.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot going on. Go ahead. I'm gonna go look at the comments.
October 21st, I have a show in Manchester, Pennsylvania. I don't think I shared that flyer yet.
Oh, look, Jason. Amber is part of MCW that I'm also involved in Arkansas. Who knows who we could recruit to Arkansas? So there you go, Jason.
You can always send me a message at jasonbladewrestling@gmail.com.
That's right.
Yeah, I have a show called New Horizons with Pennsylvania Prime Championship Wrestling on October 21st.
Okay, awesome.
At the Shiloh Fire Hall at 2190 Carlisle Road in West Manchester, Pennsylvania. Saturday, October 12th. I do know who I'm facing for that one. I'm facing Scotty Jeffries, an old timer in the business.
Okay.
So let's see if the old guys can still keep up with the young guys coming up.
All right, buddy. Let's see. Everybody, thank you for coming on the podcast, joining us on the podcast. Come back at 9 o'clock. And don't forget to go to GameStop and get your Ultimate Warrior Hall of Fame Funko Pop coming out in October. Look at that thing. Isn't that thing cool?
Oh, that
thing is nice.
Sweet. I'm going to have to go grab me one.
Big Funko guy, man. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys soon. Jason, just hang on for a moment.
All right.